So I'll give you a proper look at this in a minute when we get back to the house, but I've just picked this up. That game alone is like £23 in trade. Welcome back to the free trading game collection, the series where we buy deals, single games, single consoles, try and flip them for a bit of profit and use whatever's left to trade into CEX to build what you see behind me. Now that Batman there, of course, isn't part of the challenge, but pretty much everything else is. So all those games there are part of the collection. The PS2 is also part of the collection. We have a Mega Drive Mark 1 in the collection. We will add another console in this episode. No, it's not the Switch, although we are getting ever closer to it. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. So the last couple of days I've been looking for a brand new deal to pick up, to flip and to trade, and there's been a couple that I could make money on quite comfortably, but in terms of like the trading challenge, there isn't really been anything that I could have traded in. It would have all been buy it and sell it on. Like there was a DS in its original box, like the original DS, in its original box with loads of games, but they were all cart only. There was no boxes. CEX wouldn't have taken any of it, apart from the console, which is actually the big bulk of the money. So it just wouldn't have worked. It would have worked from a, I want to make money, I want to flip this point of view, but it wouldn't have worked from a trading collection point of view. So there was that. This morning there was a PS4, which was actually a very good deal, and I could have definitely have done it, but it was just a little bit too much for me. Like, it wasn't too expensive. £140, 2 controllers, few games, and it was a PS4 500GB like the original model. Now that would sell for a controller and a few games for probably £140, £150, quite comfortably, to be fair. Probably would have sold within 24 hours, 48 at most. And I could have lowered it down, because I reckon I could have got it for 120, and then I could have traded in one of the controllers and Sims 4 for about 50 quid into CEX, assuming the controller worked fine and everything. But that would have been a decent deal. I just didn't really want to spend 140 or even 120 in one go. I've got all my bills, gas, water, electric, council tax, rent, you name it, it all goes out within the next 3 days. So to spend £140, let's just say for example, on this deal, might have been a little bit of a stretch. So I decided that I would leave it. I did message and say, hey, would you take like money for a controller and Sims 4? No, I want to sell it as a bundle. That's fine. It's actually since gone. And it was about, I don't know, 2 hours ago it was listed. So it was a good deal. I just didn't have the money to do it right now. Then I was minding my own business. I was walking downstairs and I opened my phone and I don't know why, I just went to Facebook straight away just to see. 6 minutes it had been up there. A listing, 4 controllers, a headset and a bunch of games. 50 quid. Surely all these controllers are broken. Looked in the description, all in working order, just want them gone. Perfect. Yes, please, straight away. Can I come and collect it today? And well, I actually straight away was, how much would you take for the lot? 50, 45 if you come and get it now. Unfortunately, that has since changed. It's no longer 45 if you come and get it now. It's 50 if you come and get it now. I don't understand people like this. Basically, what happened was, and I knew this was going to happen. So I've offered him, he said to me 45, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Awesome. I love it. Someone else has messaged him and said, I'll give you 50, but I can't come until tomorrow. He's then come back to me and said, look, this guy's giving me 50 if he comes tomorrow. Can you just give me 50? Why did you just stick to 50? Just stick to, it doesn't, anyway, a little bit annoying because he did say 45, but that does mean actually that I don't need to go and take out 50 and then try and get a fiver in change. I can just take out 50 now and go straight there. So I suppose that's something. But yeah, little bit irritating, but either way, 50 quid. Now I'm going to assume that none of the controllers are trade worthy. I'm just going to assume it because CEX are very fussy. We know this, we've had experience with it. So because I don't know if you need the barcodes on the back of the controllers. And the future me here, yes you do. I asked them today, and yes, you need a barcode if you trade it in individual controllers. It doesn't need a barcode if it comes in with a console. PS4 barcodes rub off very, very easily. So I'm going to assume that I won't be able to trade them in, basically, and I'm just going to be stuck with them. So The other unfortunate thing that I have is that I can't test them. Me again, yes, I can test them. So I didn't know this, but I can connect them to the PS5 and play PlayStation 4 games on them, so I can test them, so ignore what I just said. The games, some of them trade in for good money anyway, so even if I have to sell 4 controllers broken, I will make my money back on this, and I'll trade all the games in. I'm going to go pick it up. One thing that I very rarely talk about in these videos is when I go and pick deals up through Facebook, I would say 99% of the time I walk there. Now, the town I live in is around 3 miles across, and I live over obviously on one side of it, like literally on the edge of one side. So sometimes deals pop up and they're over the other side of town, and because we are a 1-car family and I don't have access to that car a lot of the time, I'm walking. So this is me walking to this person's house, and funnily enough, ironically, every single time it happens, he lives over the other side of town. So it is about a 2.5 mile walk there, and then of course it is a 2.5 mile walk back. Fantastic. So I'll give you a proper look at this in a minute when we get back to the house, but I've just picked this up. That game alone is like £23 in trade. The controllers in there are actually in pretty good condition. 2 of them have barcodes on the back, which is awesome. So they should trade if they work. I can test them on the PS5, I just realised that as I was picking them up. And yeah, loads of decent games. 50 quid, don't mind if I do. So I am back from my adventures. It was alright actually. It was just a really long walk. I used to live in that area, and it's been the same for like every pickup I've made so far. I used to live over that side of town. I don't anymore. A little bit annoying. Anyway, I picked the deal up. Loads of games, 4 controllers, headset, 50 quid. This controller has a rattle in it. We might as well start with this one. This was one of the ones I looked at and has the barcode on it, and then I instantly thought, yes, I can trade it in, providing it works. I've tested all of them. They are all in top-notch quality condition. Basically, they work. I am a little bit disappointed with this one. It does come with like sticker marks on things. I don't know if you can tell. Someone had a sticker on it at some point. There's like almost like a gold spray paint kind of thing going on with like sides of the triggers and tops and stuff. The reason I don't think I'll be able to trade this in is because right there is almost like a split down the side. I might be able to open it up and clip it back together. I'm not sure. So as it turns out, I am a complete genius. I managed to undo 4 screws, take it apart, fix it, put it back together, and I cleaned it up. In hindsight, this would have 100% traded into CEX because I took the rattle out as well. But you'll find out what I did with it in a minute. It's not damaged. It's literally just not clipped back together properly. So if I can clean it up and clip it back in, it may trade in for £33, I think. £30 worst case, but I'm hopeful, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. I'm probably going to end up having to sell it. If I have to sell it, £25 in value. It's just the way it is for PS4 controllers. Silver one next. This one has a very rubbed off barcode, so probably not trade-inable. The reason I say the barcode thing is because I'm pretty sure CEX need barcodes to trade things in. It has a splitting issue again. It's not damaged, it's not broken, it's just not clipped back together properly. So if I can open it, clip it back together, maybe they would trade it in if they don't need the barcode, but I'm pretty sure that they do. But it is in perfect working order. There are a couple of marks here or there that would make it potentially not sort of trade-in worthy. But again, even if I can't trade it in, I can sell this for £25 because it's silver. Maybe I'll get a couple of quid more if I can make it look a bit prettier. The next controller is the one that I knew I wouldn't be able to trade in. The damage on the analog stick is just instantly, I know I can't trade it in. They won't take it. Plus, it doesn't have a barcode. So I'm just going to sell this as is. £20 on that one, I would say. Again, they're all working, they're all tested. So at the moment, we have no trade-in value. Oh dear. But we have made our money back, so that's fine. It did come with this headset as well. It is a standard just headphone jack, mic jack, PC headset. You can use these on Xbox and PlayStation. I'm pretty sure you can use them on Xbox. I don't think Xbox uses a particular connection at the bottom of the controllers, but you can put it in just to use as headphones. I'm not sure if you'd get away with using it as an actual like talk to your mates kind of job. It's not worth anything. What I'm going to do is bundle it with one of those controllers and list them for 25 to 30, something like that, just to help it sell a bit better. If someone's looking for a new controller, they can have like a cheapy headset to go with it as well. And I won't add any extra value to it. We'll just say 25 each for the controllers, 20 for the other one. So that gives us £70. We've made our money back. This is now everything I'm going to trade in. And this is the trade-in value that we're going to have for this episode. So the blue controller. This is in very good condition. There is one small issue, and I don't know if you can see it there on the trackpad or whatever it's called. There's like a greasy mark right there. I'm guessing it's just from constant pressing. I don't know why anyone would ever want to use this unless he had a game that sort of warranted it. I guess Call of Duty, if you press that in on Call of Duty, do you get your score up? This guy must have been obsessed with his kill-death ratio. I've no idea why that mark is there, but every game I've ever played, you just don't need it. Got the barcode, it's in good condition. I would imagine they'll take it, and if they do, £36 in credit, baby. Thank you very much. I'll take it. Only one of the games is going to remain with me, and that's because it's Fallout 4. This game trades in for about 10 pence, and that isn't even an exaggeration. The beautiful thing about Fallout 4 is I like it, so it's fine. I have not played it much. I played a little bit. Fallout 3, I was obsessed with. New Vegas, obsessed with. I think there might be New Vegas 2 at some point in the future, which is cool. But this will stay in the collection. It's a bit of a Shadow of Mordor situation from a couple of weeks ago. It's worth nothing. It's a game I would have picked up for the collection eventually, so I might as well keep it. That unfortunately doesn't trade in, so it's going to stay in the collection. These games now, every single one of them is going to be credit to add to the value that we're going to go with in a minute to CEX. So, Call of Duty World War II. Now, to say I'm interested in World War II would be slight an understatement. It's not my favourite war or anything. You know, how can anyone have a favourite war? How can anyone like war? But I'm interested in the subject matter. I've never played the campaign in this. In fact, the last campaign I played in a Call of Duty was probably Modern Warfare 2. Everything is like, you get Call of Duty, you stick it in, you go on multiplayer, you die a few times, you leave it alone, you go back to it, and that's basically Call of Duty. I'd like to get some of these again, not all of them, but some of them to go through the campaign. That would be one of them. Should I keep it? Probably. Not going to, though. That's going to go on a trade. Next game's another Call of Duty game. This one is Advanced Warfare. Crap. Next up. Next up. This one has value, and I really didn't know about it. Need for Speed. Yeah, I was shocked. I scanned this into the app and I was like, wow, does it really? £10 trade on this, which is really, really surprising, considering I never really see anyone mention it or hear anyone mention it or just see anything of it. You know, it's just one of those games that came out and it's another Need for Speed game. £10 trade, not bad at all. Next up. This is kind of one of those games that has all sort of fancy edition writing all over it, but actually it's just The Crew. So it says The Crew Wild Run Edition. Now, in these editions, you get standard copy of the game. That is a basic Crew disc. And then you get codes and whatever that have probably been used and that I'm not even going to try and use, and CEX won't even consider. So that just trades in as The Crew. And the next one is exactly the same. This is Trials, the Awesome Max. The Awesome Max edition. But if you look at the disc, it is quite literally just Trials Fusion, and there's nothing special about that disc at all. It comes with a bunch of DLC codes. Look, has probably been used. So yeah, just trades in as Trials. Now so far we're up to a decent amount of money on that whole thing. I wouldn't say these next two games. One of them is going to be the bulk of the value, but Ride 2 is our next game. The case on this is absolutely battered, but I'm sure they'll take it because they don't really care too much about the case. I probably will swap the case out with something else before I take it, because I do have some random PS4 games that I don't care about in my stock. But the discs on all these are actually in immaculate condition. You'd swear they were new, and that's the good thing about PS4 games. They don't really scratch that easily, so that's good. I think that's £6 trade on Ride 2, if memory serves. But this one, I knew it had value. I didn't know how much. Now I do. Deadpool, £23 in credit. That is insane for a game that I don't care about. Now, this might be blasphemy to some people, not bothered about Marvel games or films. I don't know, like, shoot me. I just don't care. Like, I've seen Deadpool 1 and 2. They're okay. I laughed in places. It's a funnish film, but in terms of the rest of it, I just don't care about Marvel in general. Superheroes do not do it for me. So even though I'm sure that is probably an enjoyable game, it must be to be worth £23 at this stage. I'm going to trade it in. I could probably sell it for 30 if I put it on eBay, but we're all about making a game collection for free here. So all that together, I'm not sure how much it trades in for, but it's on screen for you right now. I'm hoping they take that controller. Like I said, I've tested it. The only thing wrong with it is that little shiny bit in the middle. Surely that can't be a reason to not take this. I realise the irony in that clip, by the way. I said I don't like superheroes, and then I have an 18-inch Batman Funko at the very beginning of this video, and I think you see it again in a bit. I like Batman sort of from 97 back, you know, Batman and Robin with George Clooney. I like that, and everything before it, like Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, and even the TV show with Adam West. I like all that. Anything from like Christian Bale onwards, not so much. So on screen right now, you can see a Mega Drive deal. How and why and what is going on? Well, I saw this on Vinted a little while back, made an offer. It was up there for 15, I offered 10, she accepted, much to my surprise, I guess. It is a Sega Mega Drive 2 console with the wires, and she also said she had a controller that she was going to throw in as well. £10 plus the postage and the little fee is 13 something, 13.80 or 13.50, something in that sort of ballpark. So anyway, it, I think, has just arrived. I haven't opened it yet, so we're going to do that together. Here we are. This is the parcel. I've just taken my address off it. Some people will send things like this literally just in a bag. Like, they will wrap it in a Sainsbury's bag and maybe a little bit of bubble wrap if you're lucky, and they'll just send it. So the fact that it's even remotely surrounded by cardboard is pretty good. If we can't get special editions through CEX, I probably won't buy the normal versions of consoles unless they're like the newer ones that I'm unlikely to pick up, you know, i.e. the Switch, for example. Oh, the bag is grubby as well. I hate it. Oh, there's another bag in there. What is going? It's like past the parcel. And it feels like it's in another bag. It is in another... What is going on? But the whole point was, we already had a Mega Drive in the collection. We picked it up with that PS2 bundle. It's just... There's the PS2. That's a different PS2. And over there is the Mega Drive 1. I did grow up with that for like a while, and then our house got broken into and it got stolen. Then my parents on the insurance claimed for a new one. They sent us a Mega Drive 2, which was awesome. And there's the wires. That's such a really nice Ziploc bag. I'm quite sad when it comes to things like that. But there's the wires and the controller and everything. And yeah, there's that. I just want to see if it works more than anything. Wires and controller we'll have a look at in a bit. Looks fine. This is the console. Yeah, so this is the console I mainly grew up on. I picked up, because you saw me sell my personal one 2-3 weeks ago now. That was one that I picked up later on in life. I've actually had every PAL iteration of the Mega Drive. My brother moved out when I was 8 or 9, I think. And he took this with him, obviously not this one, but the Mega Drive 2. And then for my birthday that year, my dad went out and got me the, I don't know what it was called, like the Super Mega CD or something, basically. Put a picture on screen for you. It was, I didn't just stab myself. It was it's like a Mega CD, but it had the cartridge as well at the back, and it was really compact. They are super, super expensive now. We're talking like 400-500 quid, which is really sad because I have no idea what happened to mine, and I've asked my dad and he doesn't know either. So yeah, this is, I mean, MI5 wouldn't have wrapped that better than that. That is a little bit dirty, but the buttons feel okay. The only thing left to do with that is to test it. So to cut a very long-winded section short, after testing, it wouldn't really work.
I just could not seem to get a picture. So what I had to do, unfortunately, was take it apart. I cleaned everything. It was very dusty on the inside. I took that plate off and cleaned it all with alcohol, and then I got a picture, but it still wasn't perfect.
So after a tremendous amount of faff, I have managed to work out what's wrong with that Mega Drive. It just needs a new cable. Did I need to open it up and clean it out? Maybe not, but I've done it now, and I'm glad I did because it was filthy. But I just need a new cable. If I want an official Sega RF lead, they're about £9 on eBay. If I want just a third-party SCART lead, interestingly enough, which gives you a better picture, £2. Crazy. So I'm just going to add the £2 to the 13 that we paid for it, which gives me a grand total of 15 quid. Add that to what we paid for the PlayStation stuff, we need to make back £65. I can do this one of two ways. I can sell the Mega Drive, the first Mega Drive, the Mark 1, that we had in the collection from like 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where we picked up the PlayStation 2 as well. I am going to sell that. I did deliberate trading it in because I could take it to CEX and get roughly 40 quid for it. And I am tempted to get £40 in credit for it, but I think I'm just going to sell it and take the cash. Now, technically speaking, the cash would pay for the bundle, the £65. I think I could probably get 60 to 65 for that console. It's clean, it works with no issue, it's got a good controller with it and all the official cables and everything, and I could pay like a really, I don't know, just a cheap game like Echo the Dolphin or something that I've got that I'm looking to get rid of in that stack down there. That's not part of the challenge, but I think I might do that anyway. And I get 60 to 65 pound for it, and it should sell quite quickly. I mean, that would pay for it, and then you could take that if you want, but I've already made the money back. Basically, I sold 3 of the 4 PS4 controllers. They've all gone. All the cash is now in. We've made around £65 after fees. So, there is a little bit to talk about. Next week is going to be absolutely mammoth. I've got so many deals on the go, and the sale of that Mega Drive is going to massively help, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The controllers that we just sold, after fees, it was 65 and some change, so like 13, 14 pence or something. So, we've almost to the penny made our money back. I actually rounded up on the Mega Drive and the controller collection anyways. It wasn't quite 65, it was just under, but I rounded up. And these controllers sold for just over 65. So we're fine. We've made our money back. We haven't made any money really, but we have made our money back. So we are good. And then of course we had that controller and the 7 games to trade into CEX to give us that £89 credit. I'm happy to report they took them with absolutely no quarrel whatsoever. So those are the games right there. I don't know if that's going to focus. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I would go like that, but let's be honest, it's not going to focus if I do that. So I'm hoping you'll just be able to read it. 7 games, £53, happy days. The controller took 5 minutes to test because I went at 11 o'clock in the morning and there was no one else there. I walked straight in and I was like, hey, want this controller? Oh yeah, go on then. 36 quid, happy days. So they give me all these vouchers. That's 6. Oh, this is a nightmare. That's 18. This is going to be so funny when I actually go to use them all. Hey, can I buy that and use 24 vouchers to pay for it, please? 34. And then these 2 from this week. So that's 36 for the controller. And £53 for the games, giving us a grand total of, maths, £147.10. Yeah, I worked that out before I started recording. So £147.10. Which is a really nice value. Why didn't I buy anything? I'd already started doing deals for next week because with this, I didn't realise when I watch other people do these episodes, Retro Rick is probably the one that I watch the most in terms of doing these sort of $10 game challenges, and that's what inspired this series. I was always thinking, well, why does he take, I know it's his sideline, and other people do this as a sideline, they're not doing it as a main job, but why only 1 episode a week? I know now, because it takes time to sell things. It takes time to get deals, and sometimes there aren't any deals. So I understand why it takes so long to actually get an episode sorted. I'm actually doing this on Friday because I've only just managed to compile everything together. I have no idea how next week's episode is going to get done in time because there are 5 or 6 deals to incorporate. And one of them hasn't turned up yet, and I don't even think it's been posted. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next week. There will be an episode, I just don't know whether it'll be finished. Next week could be Switch Week. However, the Mega Drive that we sold earlier for $59.95 or something, after fees, I'm going to just put a £50 note on it because I don't know. It'll be more than that. We'll have made more. but I'll just slap 50 quid on it just because it's easier to keep track of. Because I don't write anything down, it's just all up here, really. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's like, in terms of the series, it's all up here. In terms of life, it's all written down. But yeah, the Mega Drive was free money. The DS and a big stack of games paid for that PlayStation and that Mega Drive. I'm pointing down there as if it's still there. It's not. It's been posted. So the PlayStation and the Mega Drive, and I still have another stack of games and 2 individual games. The Steelbook for Mass Effect and the disc of Tiger Woods, which I don't know where I've put. That could be a problem. They're still yet to sell, but I've already made my money back. So because it's in the collection now, once something has been added to the collection, it means it owes us nothing. It's free, right? So I can do whatever I want with that money. That £50 doesn't need to be, oh, that's more profit, or it needs to be added to something else. It doesn't. We can do whatever we want with it. If I want to go out and buy a console with that £50 and put it straight in the collection, I can do that without having to try and make any more money back on it because it was free money. If I want to go and buy, for example, on Facebook right now, there is an Xbox One digital thing. Not the new one, the older. They're so confusing. Why couldn't they have just named it something different? But the older one, the older Xbox One S digital thing. There's one on there for like £45 right now. It trades in for 60. Looks really clean. I could use the 50 quid that we have, go and buy it, trade it in, and make a couple of extra quid in trade, and then buy something from CEX to add to the collection. I could do whatever I want with it. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to incorporate into next week's episode, because it's going to be very confusing and very tight, I think, in sort of terms of trying to make my money back. So I'm just going to add it to next week's fund, if you will. So we are starting off next week, before we buy anything, on a plus 50, which is, I mean, it could be a way that we do the series, but I'm not going to do this very often at all. But because we're selling something from the collection, I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. If I ever take something from the collection, that'll be a plus figure because it owes us nothing already. I'm never going to like just roll on the profit week to week, because that would be far too confusing and just not, it wouldn't fit my lifestyle really. But yeah, that's going to do it. So next week we are starting on a plus 50, which is nice, and it could very well be Switch week. We could finally hit the console that we've been going for a whopping week. It'll be, I think, about like 2 or 3 weeks at that point, which is just mental that you can actually do this and achieve a goal like that in that short space of time. The deals that I pick up for next week's episode have definitely they've accelerated things tremendously. But then we can actually start going back to picking games up for the collection and maybe wait a little while before we even look at another console. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. If you have enjoyed it and you're looking forward to next week's, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.